It's Saturday night, and it is a rainy night in Georgia, and we are on some Roy Ayers tonight. And I mean, we are on it. I definitely want to pay him such a tribute of the many diamond gems that he bestowed up on us.
No doubt.
Bruh, we so thankful. I'm pouring one out for you right now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Analog Playground.
No doubt. No doubt. Peace and love goes out to Camera Kev. And of course, Johnny J.
Thank you. Peace be unto you, bro.
Appreciate you.
And thanks for having me over.
Appreciate you being up in here vibing with us. You know what I'm saying? So let's just start off and go right into it. So what was the first track that y'all remember being exposed to with Roy Ayers?
For me, it would be, I know I got into jazz a little later, you know, coming from deep in the blues country over there in Mississippi. But once I got to Hawaii and got hooked up with some of those cats out of Philly and New Jersey, they turned me on to jazz, and it was vibrations, good vibrations.
Word, okay.
Which was really cool because I thought all jazz was just instrumental. But boy, was I in for a surprise when I really start, focusing on some of the artists such as Roy Ayers, Tom Scott. I could go on and on.
Me too, bro. Me too.
He had some beautiful songs, and I've always wondered: is it the vibes that he plays, or is it the xylophone or
a vibraphone? Same thing. Same
okay,
thing.
Good.
Same thing.
Because I only knew of was it Cal Jader and who else?
Talk that talk, bro.
Who else used to do those type? Was it? There's one other artist that was I know Cal Jader, and I'll think of him later. But yeah, that was my introduction to Roy Ayers. I don't want to go on too far because I know we got Miss London over in the background. That's Pam.
I'm
London.
a hidden figure.
So hidden figure. What was the first track that you recall hearing of Roy Ayers?
It was Everybody Loves the Sunshine. It was junior high school, middle school, however you want to describe it from that time. But so, like my sonic sibling over here, Mr. Sexy Voice over here, Mr. Art Appreciation.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll receive that.
Receive that, bro. I went backwards, like I started going, I liked it, and I was only in junior high, and I went to the store, I found the album, I liked the cover, so I started looking all the things that were in front of that to get a feel for, I don't really remember how I ended up incorporating, like finding out about Ubiquity and like some of his other like spin-offs and stuff like Ramp. Remember Ramp?
Indeed,
with Daylight?
indeed.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think that came along, but he just made me want to research him. Like, first of all, he is my number one favorite male R&B artist from that time frame. And when I tell you, man, his music would just get into me. And that's all. That's the best way I can describe it.
Wow. And I'd have to say for myself, peace and love goes out to my pops that turned me on to this cat. And like you, Everybody Loves the Sunshine was the first joint that I recall hearing out of him. Like I would think maybe, 80% of us that got turned on to Roy got turned on to Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
Yeah.
And let's say this also, I like to dig deeper, or we like to dig deeper. So think about this. Everybody Loves the Sunshine was never a single.
No.
It was never a single.
That I did not know.
So with that, we have to give love. And again, being here in the Analog Playground and this being about the sonic experience, we have to give love to that generation of DJs. And look, that was the real quiet storm. When you was rocking, it didn't have to be a slow jam. It just had to be a cool out mellow joint.
But you think, like, Everybody Loves the Sunshine was his mainstream hit.
That's what he is known for.
He lived like a
That
maze,
was
like-
not a single. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably
Running Away was his biggest
hit.
single. Yes,
Yes.
that was his biggest hit.
Yes.
Yeah, but we all know him for Everybody Loves The Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
And shout out to Mary J for bringing that to a new generation also.
And the rap heads too.
And I liked her version
all
too.
the rap
I
heads.
actually liked her version.
Well, and we have to give love to that whole sampling generation for really putting Roy on the map.
Right.
All right. So think about
and
this,
keeping
y'all.
him there. Mhm.
Think about this. This dude had easily about 13 albums before Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you go backwards,
So,
you find them.
and we got to give love and respect. And again, this is about the sonic experience. So he probably put out 6 or 7 albums on Polydor before the blow up, before this. And he was on Atlantic prior to that. All right. And he did some stuff with a cat named, of course, Herbie Mann.
Herbie Mann, yes.
He came from his camp, but he also got
Wow.
down with a cat, Gerald Wilson. There's another Wilson too. And also this badass bassist from Indianapolis named Leroy Vinegar. So
I wonder if Paul knows
this is
that.
all during the 60s.
Okay.
But just think, this cat put in a lot of work prior to Everybody Loves the Sunshine. So, and just, and at this time he was 36. Yeah, he's about 36 years old by the time Everybody Loves the Sunshine hit. So he had been putting in work long before that.
This is the walking book of knowledge in Black music
Well,
history.
Absolutely.
The art appreciation.
It's just pieces. It's
It's
just
deep
pieces.
though, and I love it.
There's so much, and listen, I'm just a student, just like we all are of life. It's the same thing with music. Because trust me, I do not claim to know it all, and it's nice just to pick up pieces. And
absolutely.
also everyone has their own experience. So with that, also, what was the first album that you both bought by Roy Ayers?
It was that one. For me, it was the one with everybody because
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I think it was about $5.99.
Same. That's the
back
same
then.
album I bought. And he had the yellow shirt on, the color.
Yeah, and the
Sunshine.
lemon. And I was fascinated by the lemon toss. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is that, a tennis ball? What is that?
I'm not sure.
I never
think
paid
it's a
attention to
lemon.
it like that. I just saw the yellow T-shirt.
Right.
I
and
saw
him
the yellow
smiling.
lemon. I saw the whatever he was tossing up.
And we were speaking earlier, the joint Keep On Walking, that was on there. That was Gino Vanelli's.
I want to
The
pay
album
homage
prior
to
to
someone too. I have a classmate that's
We got a
deceased.
lot too. Okay.
Got a classmate that is deceased, and it was him. His name was Rico Burdell. He brought the album to school one day. They used to let us bring albums in sometimes, and like at the end of the school year, and the teachers would bring in their little analog systems be set up. So we had this one cat, Mr. Van de Veter.
Damn.
Mr. Van de Veter brought in some of his components, and he had these big ass Jetson style big ass speakers sitting on these tripods
They
like
said
that.
Suey's or something.
Yeah, oh my God. He brought that in his turntable and whatever else. He told everyone to bring an album. So I had a lot of albums. I didn't know what to choose. I brought George Duke's Reach For It because it was the most popular thing at the time.
Got it.
So everybody in the school, pretty much that was into music, found out I brought the album, and they was just like, make sure you play Reach For It, because it had just hit. When I tell you it was my turn and I told him to play Reach For It, the Mr. Van de Veter, maybe he laid that stylus down on that vinyl and crunked that shit up. We were in this, I'm a junior high school.
You need to come on. You need to come on camera so folks can see.
See that expression.
Well, but it was just filled in my voice.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
I don't mean to cut you off. What class was this, music appreciation?
Well, the Mr. Van de Veter taught something that didn't have anything to do with music. I don't remember I don't remember what exactly his.
You can't talk about it. You don't want to incriminate your teacher.
Oh no, not at all. I just remember that particular time because no teacher had ever really let us do that.
Got it. Understand.
And when he put that George Duke out, like I became the most popular kid in the school that day. Pam brought her album and she let him play. And then after that, other teachers, as time went on, let us bring in our So again, I brought George Duke, but this time I chose Diamonds
Mm-hmm.
because I had grown mentally
Wow.
with what I started to dig. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I understand.
Diamonds is still a deep track for me.
It is.
Brazilian, and it's nice.
That was what that was on the same album as Reach Forward, or the one
It
right
is.
before Reach Forward?
No, same album.
Yeah. That was dope. And since we added, let's go ahead and give love to some of the musicians that also perform with Roy that may either still be with us or that have transcended. And there are so many. But a small list just to start off is going to be Carla Vaughan, Byron Miller, Ricky Lawson, Chano Farrell, Mary Clayton, William Allen, and please correct me if the pronunciation isn't correct, but Justo Almario. And we have plenty others as well, but just we want to give love to Mr. Ayers and everyone that was involved in the Ubiquity experience. So with that, Johnny, what was the first album that you... Well, you said Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
Yeah, it was that album.
Was the first. What is your favorite? Is there such a thing?
I wouldn't call any a favorite, but there was a few songs that that I call my favorite. And one that I hear a lot now is it We Come From Brooklyn, Baby?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that tight?
Yes.
Hip hopsters love that one.
Absolutely. Off of the He's Coming album. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I hear that on a lot of the YouTube channels now. A lot of people play. I heard it a couple of times on my Pandora. And another deep one is The Third Eye.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The Third Eye.
Yes.
Baby.
Now,
Absolutely.
please allude to what you were talking about before. So look how he would
Look
put
to
the
the sky.
the inspirational
Yes.
lyrics in his stuff. It was all about higher vibrations.
All the time, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Like he was the ultimate and the king of high vibrations, if you think about that time.
Even had a song. Was it Good Vibrations? Was that him?
But no, just vibrations. It was
No,
just,
it was. No,
No,
it was
Good
good
Vibration?
vibration.
No,
It was called Vibration.
called
Okay,
vibration.
got you.
But yes,
That was one of my favorites.
As a matter of fact, that's the one that ladies and gentlemen, Johnny J brought over here today. Is that
Absolutely.
Vibrations
And he
album.
also
sure did.
said there's another track on there called
Melody Makers.
And memories that we once had. That's the joint.
I want to
the
hear
memories
those
keep
two because I'm
coming
not
back.
familiar with
That
those
album is
particular-
really
And I
tight.
have that vinyl, but I just didn't listen to those two.
Let me see.
Yeah, he goes Melody Maker. Play it for me. Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay.
That's tight. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was. He had so much stuff. So many
Man, look at
talented
this show.
musicians.
Can you imagine being there? So we are viewing live at Ronnie Scott's, which was one of probably Roy's best live, at least videos that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, he is killing it.
Where's this Ronnie Scott's? Is it in Atlanta?
It's London.
No, it's
London.
UK. It's
Yeah.
in London.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's where I first saw him. It was over in Amsterdam, and I was.
I mean, look at these cats.
Okay.
Look at the sweat beaded up on it. He's feeling it. Music is to feel.
It is.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, then you're not really a music person.
Mhm.
Music, whether it's classical or whatever, it could be classical Roy Ayers doing Sunshine. If you don't feel and not just listen,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
And that's why, with the concerts nowadays, I'm not knocking this generation. A lot of times they're at these concerts with their phones, but it just seems like you're missing something.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you'll pick it up later. Who knows?
They
But,
will. They will.
To sit there and enjoy it like we did
Yes.
last weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, but it's all a different experience. Just like think how you go from a big band. So you go from the big band era where you had 40 and 50 guys together down to just a funk band that we would
Yeah.
have. So our parents would say the same experience.
Absolutely.
You stripped away the horn sections, you stripped away the strings, all that kind of stuff. So, I think every generation can say
everything.
something. Yeah.
Strings, I started to appreciate as I would my ear would
Makes you
catch it
appreciate it, right?
in different tracks. Then I started almost ear hustling for string because I really learned to love them, which also in turn got me into classical music too. So is it Melody Maker?
This is the
Memories.
memory.
Memory.
Ooh. Roy Ayers.
And again, we
Roy
got to
Ayers.
give love to so many of the rap artists that have sampled his stuff, and that's what really put him back on the map. Him, just like James Brown, just like Bob James. There were so many guys that had one hell of a catalog, but no one knew about it until this stuff started getting sampled. You know.
Couldn't you say, especially now that you know how artists, and I'm not saying musical, but painting artists that do pictures and paintings and how their value of their work increases after their passing.
Absolutely.
A lot of our musicians are like that. A lot of their old stuff is discovered a lot of times after they're gone.
Oh man,
And that's
and
sad.
appreciated. You're right.
Yeah.
And underappreciated. And see,
Absolutely.
and I'm the B-side girl, so for sure, to me, it's very important to note that you should always check your B-sides, baby.
Absolutely.
Hits are nice, but baby, when you dig in the crates and you dig in there deeper, and you get those B-sides, again, it's about how it makes you feel.
Well, it's just about the art and creativity. So look how many actors and actresses that have came and went before you even knew that they existed. You know, there's a lot of music, and that's the beauty of, there's a pro and a con to everything, but I think the beauty of streaming and the stuff being available online now is there are so many guys that could not get connected with the machine to promote their stuff that much more. So now it is nice for them to be able to put it on YouTube, to be able to put it on the streaming platform, and the masses can hear it now, as opposed to them not being able to do that years ago. And they could have passed. They probably have passed 20 and 30 years ago, but now their music is there for all of us to enjoy.
Absolutely.
For all of us to really dig it.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I've been watching a lot of Coltrane on YouTube now. This guy, and that was just almost acoustic back then. They had the stand-up bass, had a piano, and a drum, and that was it in the sax. And he did this one song he did. It's about 20 minutes long. My favorite. Is it my favorite?
My
thing?
favorite things.
Oh my God! I just
Wait a minute, Roy Ayers doing my
No.
favorite?
John
I was-
Coltrane.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about artists after they're gone.
Yep.
And like I said, now I was watching Coltrane. I love some Coltrane.
Oh yeah, me too.
He just
Yeah.
it's really nice. And I understand his family. I know we don't Roy Ayers, but I understand there's Alice. Was that his wife?
Yes.
And then
yes,
there's another sibling or offspring that plays instrument also.
That's Ravi.
Yeah. So I did not know that. See, that's like you said, streaming nowadays. You learn a lot more.
Yes.
A lot more is coming out on these families.
Listen,
Yeah.
I hate to interject, but again, I am watching this live at Ronnie Scott's. Listen, to anyone that can hear this, if you have never witnessed Roy Ayers live at Ronnie Scott's on YouTube, please, by all means, take time to check it, because he was inspiring, because I'm watching as he's taking off his jacket now, he's sweating, he's losing it. But you know what? It's inspiring the other musicians to go hard. Yeah. Look how hard they're going.
And I bet you, they're in London, right? They're feeding off that crowd.
Oh,
too.
yeah. You feed off
absolutely.
of each other's energy. That's what raises the bar.
Yep. And with that, more musicians to give love to that was in that journey or excursion with Roy Ayers, and that would be Greg Fillinganes, Harry Whitaker, Edwin Birdsong, Philip Wu, Steve Cobb, James Mason,
all right.
Sylvia Cox, and Jimmy Haslip.
Yeah.
And also much love and respect to Electric Lady Studios, where he seemed to have recorded quite a bit of his work at that time. Yeah.
You know, when there's not like someone that kind of follows in an artist's footsteps, fills the shoes, can't really fill the shoes. So didn't he have a son that was dabbled in music for a bit or something like that?
Who, Roy's son?
Yeah.
Not familiar. I know he has a son and some daughters, but I didn't know if he got into music or not.
Yeah, and I don't mean I think he just kind of dipped his toe in. I don't know where I thought I read that.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like sometimes like when somebody, like that's their father,
Yeah.
do they realize the magnitude
They don't.
that their parent
Right.
has made up on millions of people's minds and hearts and
Oh,
spirits?
yeah. That's just mom or dad, you know?
What do we have playing in the background, bro?
That is Baby I Need Your Love, which was also
you
off
got
of
that.
Vibrations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
captured
here we
the
go.
right, yeah. Okay. What you say, Johnny J?
I'm just listening. I was reading some more information on some of the vocals that that was on some of the albums too.
I mean, I'm watching live at Ronnie Scott's. They are crushing it.
Who was the vocalist you see, bro?
Carla Vaughn did.
Carla Vaughn. Sexy ass Carla Vaughn.
You send me that. Remember that song?
Yes,
Oh
absolutely.
yes. Oh yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you recall the Ubiquity album, Star Booty, that they did?
Ooh, I have it. 2 copies.
Yeah.
And what
yeah.
album was
That's Sylvia Cox on the
Spirit
cover.
of?
Spirit of the Doo-Doo?
Yeah, that was something. That's when I first heard that title.
That was on Mystic Voyage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Spirit
you know
of-
that's Sylvia Cox on the Star Booty cover, right?
No. Is that her on there?
I'm pretty sure that's her on that cover. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Roy on here though. I mean, and you know what? As an artist, as I watch this unfold, mostly are closer camera angles, but my feeling from the way he's reacting, the crowd is feeling him.
That's
Because
what I'm saying.
the more your crowd, the more love your crowd pours in, baby, the more energy you pour out.
So it's fair to say that Pamela London is feeling the hell out of that video, right?
Oh, Pamela London is feeling because I know I feel it because coming through, you know.
Look, I've been in some of those moods.
Venues.
In those European venues, and look, it's a party from the time you step in to the time you get out.
Pull that mic to you, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a party from the time you step in till you leave. You know, you're soaking wet.
Man, I wish I knew you back then. We would have been in them spaces, bro.
Some of the great shows, and like you said, they're more. The venues are intimate. You know, everybody's
The best
touching
shows,
shoulders.
intimate venues.
Yeah.
You know, Omar has been here a number of times, and I am proud to say that I've seen him at least 4 times. And look, we finally got brother art appreciation at one of the shows at City Winery recently.
Did you?
Where that brother was tapping those shell toe
Yeah, for sure.
Adidas, baby. And, yeah, he
For
was,
sure.
The
He was-
superstar Adidas.
Yeah, he was.
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And our brother rocks the classics.
Yeah,
Wait.
those superstars.
Well, how many Roy Ayers concerts have you all been to?
I've never been to one because I
Really?
never. Well, I mean, when I got into him, I was still living at home in the state of Kentucky, and like Cincinnati, he had a big following there. But I was already a music addict, so I was already a fan. But
Okay.
like, I never heard him playing with anybody, like not opening, not backing up.
Really?
Or I would have even at the jazz festival in Cincinnati every year
Right.
I went to that thing probably 15, 20 years of my life. I've always gone to it when I still was there.
It's good to have a jazz festival near your hometown. huh?
Oh, yes.
All you
But
can do is
God,
get a ticket. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about traveling.
Say something
hotels.
funny. I'm gonna take you back. So back when I was going to a lot of those shows, remember the brand Cross Colors?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had this.
Wasn't
bag.
that from these kids in town, Chris Cross? Didn't they wear cross colors?
Was that Cross
Damn.
Colors? I don't
Yep.
know who.
They wore that.
Yeah. Oh, I love Cross Colors. I was so excited about that jacket I bought, man.
Cross colors.
Cross Colors.
Da-da,
Yeah.
da-da.
Da-da.
He's got the smoothest sound.
Don't-
He does. He does.
He said he was that guy. Roy was.
He
His
was.
music was really before his time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually kind of rolled back around. It's come
I'm
back
glad it
around.
has, too.
Me too. And I hope it keeps rolling around.
Yeah.
Even when I'm gone, I want people to hear Roy Ayers. Get this experience, baby. Listen to this sound. Oh, may I ask? Oh, wow. Yeah, I must have. What's this, bro? I don't have this, though.
What's
This
that?
song?
Oh, this came off of, let me see. It came off a couple of them. So
Oh, my goodness.
this was after the Polydor years.
Oh, my. See, this is when music addiction comes into play.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started jonesing, like, I gotta have.
So it was on an album called Drive, and what was the other
Oh, I
one?
have
It was
Drive.
It was Silver
Wait.
something.
Isn't Drive on Ichiban?
That is.
This was
But-
on there, and I'm.
You already got
Yes,
it.
but that was the second pressing. He also did one on his own label, Uno Melodic, and it was called Silver something.
Well, mine is the one I have is on Ichiban. so-
Mine too. Mine too. Yeah,
Oh wow, this is hot. Roy, we miss you, sir.
indeed.
Thank you again for your gem.
Indeed. And with that, we got more cats to give love to. So Billy Cobham was down with them.
Get out of here.
Billy
Sonny
was just
Fortune. They all
accepted
performed with this cat before.
Didn't he just get some accolades?
Who?
Billy Cobham.
That
They
was
just
that was
accepted him
George
to the-
Stokes' sidekick for a while, wasn't it?
He
He
was.
just got
He
accepted
was.
into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe,
Oh,
or
that's-
one of those.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. What is this again? What was that, Roy, again?
This is DC City. And I got to look up the other one to see what the other one's named. But he put it on 2 releases. So Uno Melodic was his first attempt at an independent after the Polydor years. And then after that is when he hooked up with Ichiban and did the Drive, and he re-released it. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So is this the instrumental version or the vocal version?
Well, there's only one version. I just
Okay,
dropped
okay.
out.
What's in this?
Well, that loop is just something. What's the name of that one?
That's it.
Silver Vibrations. Okay, so
Okay.
that was the one that
The
he
second
released.
pressing.
That's the original press.
Oh, it is?
that he did.
Oh, I must
And then he
have.
released Drive later on with Ichiban.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at that. Zachary Barreau was on the guitar. Okay.
Just Roy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's the beauty. Kev, what we looking like on time, sir? 35. Okay. All right. Cool.
We've been in 35. We got 35.
No, we've been in for 35.
Okay.
It don't take long when you start rapping and just talking it up. But again, peace and love goes out to Billy Cobham. Excuse me, Billy Cobham, Sonny Fortune, Ron Carter, Rudy Van Gelder, the engineer, Bert DiCato, Gordon Edwards, Cecil Bridgewater, Jimmy Owens, and Denise Dee Bridgewater. All these people have had interaction with Roy Ayers during his performances, excursions, and have done recordings with him at one time or another. So not only do we appreciate Roy Ayers, but we also appreciate you as well. So we thank you for the art and the creativity that you have given plenty of us to rock off of for many years to come.
Many years to come. Bro, when I'm 90 and I can't do nothing, I put them headsets on and
Indeed.
put Roy on.
Absolutely. I love some Roy Ayers.
Oh,
Hey, and
there
peace.
is no sound like that sound. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so...
And it's unmistakably Roy when you hear it, isn't it?
That's the beauty of it.
unmistakably,
You just don't say, "What was that?"
undeniably.
Yeah. And
No
peace and love
cap,
goes out
no
to
cap.
Ramp as well.
Yes.
And I want to say,
Any
and
group that he...
I apologize, but we just lost one of the brothers in Ramp recently. So peace and love to you, my brother,
Oh, wow.
as well. Yes. Out of Cincinnati, Ohio, stand up.
Ohio.
Roy.
They're known for a lot of funk groups.
Well, that's yeah, bro. We could say easily, and it's arguably, of course, but easily, Ohio's the home of the funk.
Yeah.
Between Dayton and Cincinnati, Dayton alone, no one can compete. We can probably pull 10 bands
Easily.
that came out of Dayton that are known. And I think even with cities the size of Chicago, New York, LA at that time, on the level that they were operating, there's no Detroit, there's no comparison. As a matter of fact, just on a side note, I would love for someone to do a documentary on all of the artists that came out of Detroit that were not affiliated with Motown. That was a lot. That was quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, you need to be the producer for that.
That-
Then, so I'm back on the Live at Ronnie, right? Man, I'm watching, look, he has turned completely up. I wonder how old he was during this time.
That was probably late 80s, early 90s.
So you
on
think
that.
he's probably about 40 something?
Yes. Yes. 'cause
But the musicians, I mean,
That
the
was-
musicians are everybody's so pumped for each other. Like you can,
Yeah.
all he got to do is bang. And I mean, they putting their heart and soul into this. You can just feel it.
Those were musicians.
Those are called
And I'd have to say, Roy was one of the first concerts that I've ever attended.
Is that right?
Where?
Yes.
Where? What
Yes.
state?
Yeah,
Please
that was
tell.
here. That was here, and this was late 80s. And
Where-
it
what
was
was the venue?
and at that time it was at Chastain.
Okay.
And I saw, let me see, the album was The One. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm the One, which we're talking about 87, and that was one of his LPs that really didn't go over that well. It was maybe a couple of tracks on there that was cool, but he was at Columbia Records at this time, and they was really trying to push him as a commercial artist. And by then his sound had changed. The digital era had came in, so things began to change when it came to sound. Yeah.
Synthesizers and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And even his vibes, that warmth of the vibes was not the same as it was with the Polydor years.
Okay.
So these are some warm ass vibes when you start hearing this.
Polydor is warmer than Electra years.
He's warmer than everything else that he did.
Polydor was the better of
those vibrations, those frequencies in there. It just resonates with you. In my opinion, it resonates with your soul and your spirit so much more. It's a certain warmth that comes along with that.
But it wasn't even just really the music that it was changing to keep up. You know, the nostalgia. I don't know.
Yeah, music was changing, and they were going from that doo-wop, R&B, slow jams to funk, and then was it disco and then funk? Which came first, disco or funk?
The funk.
Funk came in.
And disco wiped it out.
Yeah, disco wiped that out, and then it comes along.
Oh man, they wiped it out. Boy, I missed the funk too.
Yeah, you can't kill a funk, as James Brown would say.
You know, I really never really was digging the techno dancey stuff. I like house, but I didn't like disco. And you really got to know the difference to know the difference in sound.
No,
I think house derived from disco.
Yes.
But house still has a different feel.
And I guess since we got to segue with some of that Roy, he did a lot of disco at that time.
Yeah, that Running Away was hot though.
But I will say this though, it depends on what type of disco you're talking about, because all that Philadelphia International, all that stuff, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Teddy Penny, that was all disco. Matter of fact, now if you don't know, what's my man's name? I want to say that is Earl.
Not Earl.
I'm sorry.
No.
Excuse me, my apologies. Earl Young. So he is the original drummer for the Philadelphia International sound. He is known as the father of disco. That pretty much Four on the Floor. He's the one that created that.
Okay.
So when you hear Bad Luck by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, that's him. When you hear all that stuff that was just Four on the Floor, he's the one but again, that soulful disco. That's not that techno-y stuff that you would hear maybe from some other country. So
I am just listening to how sexy this song is. Oh my God. Like I don't have this. Wait a minute. What is this?
There are so many.
And disco, like, I didn't mean to cut you guys off. Disco, like jazz, really brought people of all
absolutely
ethnicities, color,
you
know, sex or national origin together. It really did, because that's when I really first started hitting the clubs. Remember, I was young then.
Yes.
You know,
bro, disco was that thing. As much as they want to abuse it and neglect it, it's like everything else. You know, once certain folks think they're finished with it, they want to call it played out.
Right.
There's a lot of beautiful disco music out here that had string arrangements, that had horn arrangements. Come on, man.
Sounds of Philly.
Come on. And that's why we can't just throw a whole genre and say it was trash. No, there's some dope stuff out here. Yeah. And look, Roy, that's just so dope. Listen to these strings.
Yes. Strings just do everything.
Yeah, strings bring a whole dynamic.
Yes.
And you could, when they play it, it's just
violin had becomes sexier and sexier to me. That's why on my birthday party I had a violinist, but violins are so sexy and so underrated. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I guess it's about that time, being that we should be close up on it. So
I want to throw out some tracks that were B-side faves.
Oh, and hold on. Let me give a few more, because we got a shitload of people still to give love and respect to. So bassist Clint Houston, Wayne Garfield, who happened to have written and sung vocals on this track right here, Charles Tolliver, Herbie Mann, Bad Wilbur Bascom, Bernard Pretty Purdy, Leon Pendarvis, and Pat Rabillo. Yes. So what you got over there, sis?
Talk to us.
Oh, that's so... Okay, I'm going to throw out 3 tracks that are just random favorites of Roy Ayers tracks that I really enjoy. All B-sides and very underrated. And that from the Lifeline album, there is Fruit and Together, which my sonic sibling did not dig either one of. However, he needs to take a second listen.
Oh yeah. I like the Dolomite tracks.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
This Side of Sunshine, which he did a lot of songs about sunshine, but that was such the melodic track with Dee Dee Bridgewater on vocals. So yeah.
And also, let me include, just maybe 15 years ago, there was a UK label that was BBE. They went back and re-released a lot of stuff that he had in his vault.
Did they?
And it was some dope shit.
Is it still available?
Yes,
somewhere?
absolutely. And the name of it was, oh man, I want to say Ubiquity 1 and Ubiquity 2, but I'll have to look that up.
I may have actually come across those before. I mean,
Oh, you've heard it because there's a vocal version of Mystic Voyage.
oh wow. Okay, now that I haven't heard.
There's another version of Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
I've heard that.
It was called Virgin Ubiquity. That's the
Yeah.
name of those releases. So it was Virgin Ubiquity and also Virgin Ubiquity 2. But
And you could tell on that one that it was that song "Everybody Loves the Sunshine" was not very polished, like not the way
and
it
just
became.
like, and excuse me, but this track right here, this is from. So that's
Oh yeah.
yeah. So this is something that got re-released years later, back in
And this-
2005.
This
so
was,
matter of fact.
yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. But just think, a lot of these artists have so many things just sitting around
They do.
that they did not release for some reason or another, you know?
They said Prince's vault is still full, isn't it?
Oh, man. Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
You know, his sister Tyka Nelson passed
She did.
a while
She
ago.
did.
Uh-huh.
All right, y'all. So in closing, if you had to say anything to Mr. Ayers, what would you say?
I would say rest in music. Mr. Ayers, rest in music.
I would co-sign that too.
Okay.
I just thank him for the many gems. I just think about the music that he, you know, his style, his sound is so, for me at that, and especially in junior high, I was so impressed. There was no one around that had a sound playing that instrument. It was so enchanting and just so many things. And anyway, he definitely made a stain on my brain. So it's he's here to stay in my mind and heart and spirit.
Right on, right on. And I know you took that one hard when my man transcended.
Oh yeah,
As well.
You know, I immediately thought of so many tracks, and this is sad. Definitely, I wish that, you know, I think if I wish anything is he knew how much people loved his music,
Yeah.
because he needed to know that.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that put it out there. So in closing, Mr. Ayers, I would have to say thank you for many decades of wonderful music. You've put out so much that I do not have a favorite. I don't have a favorite LP, nor do I have a favorite song that was
point.
that
Good.
much.
Excellent point.
I thank you for all the artists that you work with or allowed to work with you. I appreciate you exposing us to higher vibrational music. I just hope that many can follow in your footsteps. And I really appreciate you stretching out, touching not only Herbie Mann, but you can stretch from Erykah Badu to Tyler, the Creator, to The Roots,
Mary
to
J.
Rick James, to Mary J. But he actually performed with these folks, not getting sampled.
Okay.
He actually performed with them. And I really appreciate you embracing the younger generations as opposed to talking over them. Thank you for your contributions. We will always hold you in high regard. And with that, let me see here. We got a few more. We got Debbie and Terry Burrell, Alphonse Mouzon,
Alphonse was
John Faddis,
Faddis, okay.
trumpeter,
Buster
right?
Williams,
Drummer,
Herbie Hancock,
flute,
Grady Tate,
key,
Miroslav Vitas, Gary Bartz, Hubert Laws, Gene Dunlap, Onaji Allen Gums,
oh,
Harold Land, Howard King, and with respect, so many others. So many others. That's only a few, and that was at least 40 to 50. So thank you, Mr. Ayers. Thank you for all of the people that contributed to the creativity that he put out as well. the engineers, the studios, the producers, the labels. Thank you, Polydor. Thank you,
DJs.
Atlantic. Yes. The DJs, the record stores that were responsible for turning a lot of us on to this
Folks
stuff.
like you and I.
We thank you for that sonic experience. And in closing, please be sure to check out not only the dope stuff that gets sampled, but the 60s in the years, let's say in the Atlantic years. He was straight ahead, more straight ahead. But again, music is like links in a chain. So if you can handle the stuff that he did on Polydor, go back and dig some of the earlier stuff as well. On behalf of Pamela London, Johnny J, Camera Kev, I am Art Appreciation. Respect the rhythm and rock on.
Peace out.